Have you ever wondered why, among so many people, narcissists are specifically drawn to you? This is no coincidence. There is a light within you, something almost mystical, that shines and exposes deep truths wherever you go. This light, chosen one, not only reveals the good in people but also forces the shadows to emerge. And narcissists, in their obscured nature, are irresistibly attracted to this clarity. Not because they want to embrace it, but because they desperately need to extinguish it. They see in you what they can never be, completeness, a truth that haunts them. But instead of allowing themselves to be healed by this light, they choose to attack it, trying to absorb what they cannot generate on their own. Your light is a direct reflection of your connection to something greater. It is like a spiritual beacon that illuminates the darkest parts of others, bringing to the surface what they try to hide. You carry within you a clarity, an empathy, and a depth that narcissists simply cannot bear. They are empty, always seeking something to consume in order to fill the abyss within them. And it is this light that you carry, this purity, that they desperately desire to capture. But what they do not realize is that this light cannot be stolen, only shared, and will never be dominated by those who live in the shadows. The narcissist sees you as an inverted mirror, everything they wish they could be, but their inner darkness prevents them from reaching. The presence of a narcissist in your life is not just a random occurrence. It is a desperate attempt by them to see something you possess and that they will never be able to create for themselves: authenticity. When they observe you, there is a mixture of fascination and envy. Fascination because they see in you a strength that attracts them, as if it could fill the void that consumes them. Envy because deep down, they know they will never be able to sustain this light on their own. So, they approach, not to learn, but to destroy what they do not understand. They hide behind compliments and false admiration, but soon the mask falls, and what remains is the attempt to extinguish you. You, with your light, disturb them because your existence exposes the chaos that inhabits their soul. A narcissist's attacks are subtle. They do not appear obvious, they do not scream or make clear threats. Instead, they infiltrate with subtlety, presenting themselves as someone there to help, admire, or walk beside you. But their words are venomous, and their actions are carefully calculated to erode your confidence. They begin to attack what is most sacred in you, your perception of reality. They distort the facts, make you doubt your own feelings and beliefs, manipulating your emotions until you feel completely lost. The narcissist is a master at masking their attacks, making them seem like concern or love, when in reality they are only attempts to feed off your essence. In this game of light and shadow, you, chosen one, find yourself trapped. The narcissist acts like a distorted mirror, reflecting your weaknesses in an amplified way and making you doubt yourself. They use what we call gaslighting, a psychological attack where reality is distorted until you are no longer sure of who you are or what you see. They feed off your confusion while pretending to help you see clearly. But the truth is that they need to extinguish your light to feel powerful. They manipulate your emotions, try to break you, because they know that as long as you shine, they will never be able to feel whole. However, the strength they seek to steal cannot be forcibly taken. It is yours, chosen one, and no matter how much they try, they will never be able to extinguish it. When the narcissist approaches, they never show who they really are. They wear masks, like an actor changing roles depending on the scene. And the first mask is always charming. They shower you with compliments, make you believe that you have finally found someone who sees your light and values it. But soon this mask begins to crack. Their true intention is not to admire your light, but to dominate it. The narcissist cannot stand the idea that someone like you, chosen one, can exist without being controlled. And that is when the first subtle blows begin. Seemingly harmless comments, small gestures that undermine your confidence. They do not need to raise their voice or attack you directly. It is enough to plant the seed of doubt and let it grow, suffocating your perception of yourself. At first, it can be difficult to notice what is happening. After all, the narcissist positions themselves as someone who is on your side, as someone who cares deeply about you. They become a constant presence, offering advice, pointing out flaws you didn't even know you had. And you, with your empathetic nature, begin to question, is he right? Am I really as imperfect as he suggests? This is their strategy, to make you doubt, to make you question your own worth until you depend on them to know what is real. They manipulate your vision, inverting everything around you, distorting your light until you begin to see only shadows. What the narcissist fears above all is that you will see through their masks. Because if you, chosen one, see who they really are, their entire strategy collapses. They need you to believe in the image they have built of themselves, an image of power, control, and perfection. But this image is an illusion, sustained by your doubt and vulnerability. And this is where your power begins. When you start to recognize the patterns, when you begin to see the manipulation for what it really is, you regain control. The narcissist only has power over you while you are blind to their intentions. The moment you see the game, the light they tried so hard to extinguish begins to shine brighter. For the narcissist, the revelation of their true self is unbearable. They spend their entire life running from their inner emptiness, trying to fill it with the energy of others. But you, chosen one, have the ability to expose this emptiness, even unintentionally. Your presence is a catalyst for hidden truths, forcing the narcissist to face what they fear most, their own lack of essence. When you stand firm in your light, without giving in to their manipulations, you force them to confront this darkness. And in that moment, they can react in two ways: either they withdraw, fearing what has been exposed, or they attack with greater intensity, trying to destroy what they cannot control. This is why, often, the relationship with a narcissist follows a cycle of emotional intensity. First, they place you on a pedestal, praise your light, feign admiration. Then, the devaluation begins, the disguised attacks, the attempts to control your perception. And finally, when they feel they are losing control, the attacks become more direct, more visceral. But there is something they do not understand: your light, chosen one, is not a flame that can be easily extinguished. On the contrary, the more they try to destroy it, the more it grows. Your inner strength, your connection to the divine, is unshakable. And when you recognize this, when you understand that nothing can steal your essence, their game is over. The mirror they tried to use to distort you shatters, and all that remains is the true reflection of who you really are. The narcissist's manipulation is a dark dance, carefully choreographed to entrap you. Every move is calculated, every word meticulously chosen to make you distrust your own perception. They want you to believe that the confusion you feel is the result of your own insecurities, when in fact, it is they who envelop you in this web of distortions. But there is a crucial point that the narcissist cannot comprehend: they may manipulate the reality around you, but they will never be able to change the essence of who you are. Your light, chosen one, is pure and inextinguishable. Even though they try to extinguish it, making you doubt yourself, that light continues to shine, always ready to tear through the shadows they cast upon you. One of the most perverse aspects of narcissistic manipulation is that it often disguises itself as protection. They position themselves as the guardian of your happiness, as someone who knows what is best for you. But the truth is that they want to be the center of your universe. They need you to depend on them to validate your own existence. This is reflected in the criticisms disguised as advice and the concerns that are, in reality, disguised attacks. The narcissist envelopes you in a false sense of security, making you believe that they are the only one who can guide you. However, this guide does not lead you to the light but down a path of emotional and spiritual dependence. Over time, you begin to notice the patterns. Every compliment is followed by a veiled criticism, every gesture of care is actually an attempt at control. They feed off your doubt, your hesitation, and every time you give in to their game, your light seems to dim a little more. But the truth is that your light is not diminishing, it is only temporarily overshadowed by the fog they have created around you. As soon as you recognize this fog, it begins to dissipate. The power they have over you is not real, it is an illusion that fades the moment you decide to see with clarity. And when you begin to see through the manipulations, something changes. The narcissist realizes that their influence is slipping away. They feel control slipping through their fingers, and that is when they enter full attack mode. What were once subtle criticisms now become direct accusations. What was once emotional manipulation now becomes a desperate attempt to break your psyche. They will do everything to make you believe that you are wrong, that your light is not real. They want you to believe that you are dependent on them, that you cannot exist without their validation. But, chosen one, you know that this is not true. Your light exists independently of any external force. It is part of who you are, a direct expression of the divine, and nothing they do can change that. Upon realizing that you are beginning to free yourself, the narcissist often attempts one last trick, a return to the initial enchantment. They go back to praising you, telling you that you are special, trying to entrap you again in their web of lies and manipulations. But now, you have seen the game. The difference is that this time you will not be deceived. You now recognize the pattern, understand that these compliments are not real, they are just an attempt to maintain control. And finally, you realize that you can break free from this dynamic. You do not need the narcissist to shine. Your light, chosen one, is self-sustaining. And by recognizing this, you not only free yourself but destroy the power they believed they had over you. By reaching this clarity, you begin to understand the real reason why narcissists are so attracted to you. It is not your weakness that calls to them, but your strength. They feel the light that emanates from within you, this unshakable connection to something greater, and they desperately desire to have it for themselves. However, when they realize they cannot control it, that they cannot appropriate it, what arises is a deep frustration, and from there come the attacks. But now, you are aware of this. And it is this awareness that begins your process of facing them. The first step to defeating a narcissist is to clearly see the game they are trying to play. It is recognizing that the control they have over you is illusory, sustained only by their own insecurities. Before continuing, if you feel alone and misunderstood as a chosen one, our ebook is a valuable resource. Find guidance to illuminate your path and understand your unique gifts. Purchase now and gain access to our exclusive Discord community, where you will find support and understanding. Join us and share your experiences in a welcoming space. Additionally, gain access to unique and exclusive content. Check the pinned comment here on the video. From the moment you see through the masks, the narcissist loses the main weapon they had against you, which is mystery. They thrive in an environment of confusion, manipulating perceptions and distorting the truth. But when the truth emerges, they weaken. And you, chosen one, realize that the true power was always in your hands. The narcissist tried to turn your light into shadow, distorting your perception of yourself, but now that attempt fails. It is at this moment that you must take a firm stand. Manipulation only works when you are trapped in the web of illusions. Once you step out of that web, you become stronger, and their control over you disappears, like a shadow fleeing from the light of the sun. One of the greatest mistakes the narcissist makes is underestimating the inner strength of the chosen ones. They see your empathy, your compassion, and confuse that with weakness. But the truth is that these attributes are expressions of a much deeper and more powerful connection, a spiritual connection they cannot comprehend. When they attack you, they try to feed off your light, but what they don't realize is that this light is unshakable. It does not depend on external approval, it does not need validation from anyone. This light is a reflection of your essence, of your purpose, something the narcissist will never be able to destroy, no matter how hard they try. And when you realize this, when you understand that your strength is beyond their reach, you free yourself from any influence they might have had. Liberating yourself from a narcissist's control is not just an emotional process but also a spiritual one. To confront them effectively, you need to understand that your battle is not just against a person, but against the shadows that person carries. The narcissist lives in darkness, constantly seeking ways to extinguish any trace of light they encounter along the way. They fear what you represent because your presence exposes the parts of them they hate the most. The light you carry, chosen one, acts as a mirror, revealing the truth they spend their entire life trying to hide. And when they see themselves in this reflection, they are filled with despair. They know they will never be able to possess what you have, and that is the wound they desperately try to heal. Facing a narcissist is a process of self-affirmation. It is understanding that you are not trapped in their grip, but that they are trapped in the shadows they try to project onto you. They need you to doubt yourself, to question your light, because without that, they lose the ability to manipulate. That is why the most powerful step you can take is to recognize your own truth. It is to reaffirm, every day, that your light is yours, that no one can control or manipulate it. This is the true liberation. When you strengthen yourself in your own identity, the narcissist loses all influence over you. They can no longer feed off your energy because you refuse to give it. And it is at that moment that you realize you will never again need to submit to their game. When the narcissist realizes they can no longer control you, they desperately try to retain some shred of power. But now, you are no longer vulnerable to these attempts. They may try to return to the beginning, pretend to care, resume the compliments and false admiration, but you now see beyond that. The mask they used so many times has been broken, and the true face behind it has been revealed. This is the point where you need to be firmer than ever. It is easy to fall back into their manipulations when they are subtle and disguised as care. However, now you are aware of the tactics, and it is in this moment that the true liberation begins. The power they had over you fades as you recognize that your light never depended on them. Facing a narcissist is not just a battle of words or actions. It is a spiritual fight. The narcissist, with their hunger for control, tries to attack what is most sacred in you, your connection to the divine, your luminous essence. They will do everything to distort this connection, making you believe that it is insufficient, that you need them to find your true value. But this is a lie. Your strength, chosen one, comes from a much higher source, and that is the strength you must claim. When you reconnect with this source, with your true essence, the narcissist completely loses their ability to influence you. They cannot control what is beyond their reach, and your light, chosen one, is far beyond what they can touch. And now that you see the situation with clarity, you realize that the true game of the narcissist was always to make you believe that you needed them. This is their greatest weapon, the illusion that your light can only shine with external permission or validation. But this light is yours, and it always has been. It is an inner force that can never be captured or controlled by anyone. The narcissist never had real power over you, they only manipulated your perceptions to make you think they did. By regaining control over your own narrative, you reconcile with your truth, and in that moment, you are completely free. The power they believed they had was, in fact, always in your hands. Many chosen ones face the temptation to confront the narcissist, to openly expose their manipulations, seeking justice or explanations. However, it is important to understand that the narcissist will never admit their true intentions. They are trapped in a spiral of self-sabotage and denial. Confronting them directly often only feeds them, as they thrive on conflict and drama. What really weakens them is your indifference. When you refuse to enter their game, when you choose to preserve your light and walk away, they completely lose the ability to reach you. Your greatest confrontation is not verbal, but the choice to no longer allow them to drain your energy. The true form of confrontation is conscious distancing. It is not just about cutting physical ties, but also spiritual ones. The narcissist feeds off the emotional connections they create, even if they are toxic. By recognizing this, you can cut off that flow of energy, removing any possibility for them to continue manipulating your spirit. This can be done in various ways, from physical and emotional distancing to practicing spiritual rituals that protect your energy. The most important thing is that you recognize that you have the power to decide who has access to your light. And when you decide that the narcissist no longer has this access, there is nothing they can do to reverse it. When you cut off the narcissist's access to your energy, something deeply transformative happens. The dynamic changes completely, and you feel lighter, as if a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. What once seemed like an endless battle of manipulations and doubts now transforms into clarity. You realize that you always had control over your light, but the narcissist depended on your ignorance of this fact. And now, without your energy to consume, they turn to other targets, looking for a new source of validation. The most important thing is that you are free. Your light shines again, without the shadows they projected to confuse you. This process of cutting the energetic bond with the narcissist can be more difficult than it seems. Often, the narcissist will try to reconnect, attempt to involve you again in their webs of manipulation. They may use emotional tricks, present themselves as the victim, or even try to make you feel guilty for distancing yourself. But this is where your strength must prevail. You must remember why they were attracted to you in the first place. Your light is what they desire, but it is also what they fear. By recognizing this, you understand that pushing them away is the only way to protect this light. There is no guilt in protecting what is sacred within you. The path to complete liberation from a narcissist also involves internal reconciliation. Many chosen ones, after realizing how deeply they were manipulated, begin to question how they allowed it to happen. This self-reflection is important, but it must be done with compassion for yourself. Remember, chosen one, that your nature is to trust, to believe in the goodness of others, and it was this kindness that the narcissist tried to exploit. However, this does not diminish your strength or extinguish your light. On the contrary, the experience only strengthens your ability to discern and protect what is valuable. You have learned to recognize what must be kept at a distance, and this makes you even more powerful. Part of this process also involves restoring confidence in your own perception. For a long time, the narcissist tried to make you doubt yourself, distorting the reality around you. Now, it is time to reconnect with your own intuition, with the inner wisdom that was always present. Practices like meditation, prayer, and introspection can help silence the external voices that try to confuse you and reconnect you with your essence. This is the true spiritual confrontation. It is not about fighting the narcissist, but about strengthening the connection with your own truth until no external manipulation can touch you. As you regain this confidence, you realize that the narcissist never had real power over you. They manipulated, distorted, and tried to weaken you, but deep down, what they always feared was the brightness of your truth. The light you carry, chosen one, is incomparable, and that is what set you apart from the beginning. The narcissist, in their inability to create or sustain that light on their own, tried to steal it. But as you now know, that is impossible. Your light cannot be taken. It is part of who you are, and the more you reconnect with this truth, the more that light grows and illuminates your path. The moment you reconcile with your truth and strengthen yourself internally, you begin to notice an interesting phenomenon. The narcissist's attempts to reach you become increasingly ineffective. They may try to resume the cycle of manipulations, but now, your clarity prevents those attacks from finding an entry point. The narcissist becomes frustrated upon seeing that the old tactics no longer work. The words that once hurt you now resonate as distant echoes, incapable of penetrating your mind. Their power is no longer present in your life, and every attempt at attack weakens them further. They begin to realize that you, chosen one, are no longer an available source for their toxic needs. This distancing, however, is not only physical or emotional. It is also a deep spiritual protection. Many chosen ones feel, after cutting ties with narcissists, that their energies begin to restore themselves in ways that previously seemed inaccessible. What was drained during the time of manipulation now returns, as if a new source of vitality has been discovered. This happens because, by cutting off the narcissist's access to your light, you allow that light to flourish again without their interruptions. Your connection to the divine strengthens, and you experience a spiritual rebirth or realignment with your purpose and mission in this world. It is important to remember that this rebirth is not something that happens overnight. It is a healing process, and like any healing, it requires patience and care. The narcissist left marks on you, especially in how you see yourself. Emotional manipulation leaves invisible scars, which often take time to fully dissolve. But with time, and as you continue to nurture your light, these scars transform into wisdom. Every lesson learned, every obstacle overcome, strengthens your ability to identify new attempts at manipulation and to protect yourself from future toxic influences. One of the greatest victories you can achieve after freeing yourself from a narcissist is the rediscovery of your own autonomy. During the time you were under their influence, your perception of freedom was restricted. The narcissist creates an illusion where you feel trapped, as if you were incapable of acting on your own or making decisions without their interference. However, now that you have freed yourself from these invisible chains, you begin to reconnect with your true power. You realize that you do not need anyone to validate your existence. Your light, chosen one, shines on its own, and your autonomy is restored as you embrace this truth. And it is in this moment that you become truly invulnerable to the attacks of narcissists. Not because they have given up trying to reach you, but because you have developed a deep understanding of who you are and the power you carry. You have learned to identify the manipulations before they can affect you, and now you know that no one can take from you what is inherent to your soul. This is your true power, knowing that your light not only illuminates the way but also protects you. It is a shield, and as you embrace this light, it becomes your most impenetrable defense. The narcissist can no longer reach you because the access they once had has been completely cut off, and you walk toward your purpose with renewed confidence. Now, free from the narcissist's influence, you begin to sense a new kind of power growing within you. This power is not something that comes from the outside, but from the depths of your soul, from your connection to the divine. It is a type of strength that few can understand, because it is not visible, but perceptible in every decision, in every choice you make. The freedom you gained by distancing yourself from manipulation reveals how impactful your presence in the world truly is. Those around you begin to notice something different, an unshakable confidence, a light that shines without hindrance. The narcissist may have tried to extinguish that light, but all they managed to do was strengthen your inner flame. With your spiritual awakening, you have become a game changer, not only for yourself, but for others. The clear achievement of overcoming the shadows allows you to help those who are still stuck in their own battles. Your light, now stronger, illuminates the paths of others who seek healing and overcoming. Your presence becomes a beacon for those seeking guidance, being a living example that it is possible to escape the clutches of the narcissist and thrive. The power of your light is unshakable, and this makes you invulnerable to manipulation. You now know that this light needs to be continually fed and protected. It is not enough to keep narcissists away. It is necessary to nourish your essence through spiritual practices and surround yourself with people who elevate your soul. You understand that your light is sacred, and not everyone is ready to receive it. By choosing wisely who has access to your energy, you create a protective barrier, preventing narcissists from feeding on your strength. This protection is the result of your discernment and awareness of the value of the light you carry. As you consider the impact of your confrontation with the narcissist, you realize that it was a necessary process to discover the indestructibility of your light. What seemed like an attack on your essence was, in fact, an opportunity to transform weakness into power. Now, you walk with the knowledge that your light can dispel even the darkest shadows. Your role in the world is clearer than ever, to raise consciousness, spread healing, and protect your light with wisdom and vigilance. Your mission is defined, and your light shines brighter. If this message touched your heart and helped you see your path more clearly, don't forget to hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content that can continue illuminating your journey. Don't forget to check the pinned comment to find guidance and insights that will help you illuminate your path and better understand your experiences and unique gifts. If you feel alone and misunderstood as a chosen one, you will also have access to our exclusive Discord community, where you will find support and understanding from others who are on the same journey as you. Join us and share your experiences in a welcoming space. Share this message with someone you know who needs to hear this, and leave your comment below because your experiences and reflections help others who are on the same path. And for those who want to continue supporting this work and ensuring that more light can be shared, you can contribute directly on Buy Me a Coffee. Your support makes all the difference and helps us continually improve our content. And to continue on this journey of discovery and enlightenment, I invite you to watch the next video appearing on your screen, or explore the playlist of the secrets of the chosen ones. I am sure you will find much more to strengthen your soul. Thank you for being here, for shining, and for sharing your light. See you in the next video, and take care.